Think of yourself as dead. You have lived your life. Now, take what's left and live it properly. Today is the second day of my 21-day fast, and I feel pretty good. The second day is usually the worst, at least for me, because usually I get a really bad headache, like really bad. It's like a migraine. But today wasn't that bad, actually. I still had a headache, especially like up here, and it wasn't that great, but it wasn't like a full-blown migraine. For example, it did hurt when I wanted to pick things up from the floor and stuff like that. But it wasn't that bad. And the headache sort of gave me a sensation throughout the day of like just being tired because my brain just didn't want to deal with anything. But I guess that was all right because it made me not think about food. So that's always a bonus when you're doing a water fast. Okay, so what has been going on with my body over the past 2 days? So all of today and yesterday. And today I'm doing my video at the end of the day instead of at the beginning of the day, just so that I could tell you what I felt throughout the day. So I've been going through what experts call stage 1 of an extended fast. And to be honest with you, I don't have all of this memorized because it's like so much stuff and I'm so not used to all of these terms. So I'm going to try my best here. So on the first day of fasting, your blood sugar level drops below 70 milligrams. And to restore the blood sugar glucose level, glycogen is converted to glucose and then released into the blood. Now that reserve is good for just about half a day. The body then reduces the basal metabolic state rate. Not the state, the rate. That's the rate of internal chemical activity, and resting tissue is lowered to conserve energy. So that's what that means. The heart rate slows down and blood pressure is reduced. So that's a good thing. Glycogen is then pulled from the muscle, causing some weakness. Maybe that's why I felt a little tired today, more than other days. The first wave of cleansing is usually the worst. Okay, so what you can expect on days 1 and 2 are things like headaches, dizziness, nausea, bad breath, and the other one is like sort of like this coating on your tongue. So those are the things that you can expect. And those are signs of the initial stage of cleansing. So those are really good signs. They may not be great, but they're good signs. Hunger can be more intense during days 1 and 2. For me, usually it isn't. For me, day 1, I'm usually really good. Day 2 as well. Day 3 is when I'm really hungry. But we'll talk about that tomorrow, day 3. Okay, so that's a lot of terminology that I don't normally use. So I'm putting a link in the description below to a video where you can learn about the stages of fasting in a much more in-depth way. Mine was just a little tiny summary, but Dr. Berg will be able to help you, and you can learn directly from him as well. And there's a whole bunch of other doctors. I just, chose him for today's video to put a description there, so you can check him out. So a lot goes on during the first 2 days of fasting, and I also said that I would talk about the benefits of fasting. So here goes. There's a lot of benefits, but I'm just going to go with these for now. So the most obvious one is weight loss. Okay, of course, people are always like, well, you gain the weight back afterwards. Well, yeah, you do, but you just have to eat better, be healthier, right? Not just fill yourself with a whole bunch of garbage again. And that's something that I'll talk about in a future video as well, what you will eat after your fast. So that's one benefit. Another one is you lose visceral fat. Okay, so the fat around the intestines, around the organs, and abdominal fat. 3, another one, I'm not really counting, elimination of excess sodium that happens in the body right away. Okay, so this means that it drops the blood pressure automatically, for example. So that's a really good thing. Another is traditional idea of fasting is detoxification, and lo and behold, after a whole bunch of studies lately, they have seen that that's true. Of course it is. So there's rapid detoxification going on during a water fast. Another thing is enzymic inductions. Protein is induced during fasting. So you're draining your battery. It's all a good thing. In a long-term fast, you see so many changes. The following one is one that I think is really cool. Of all the biomarkers you see improve with exercise, they also improve with extended water fasting. Okay, because they both reverse the consequences of dietary excess. So exercise and fasting, both reverse those consequences of like garbage eating, right? So they're both good for you. And excess prevents, that there are things that, exercise prevents dementia, for example, and so does fasting. So there's a whole bunch of common biological benefits of exercise and fasting. So fasting is a really good, way to go about if you don't like exercise. And if you don't like fasting, you can exercise. So there you go. Something else is insulin is the hormone that drives sugar to the bloodstream. And what can you do to reduce insulin resistance? You can fast. So that's something else. There's been people that have been cured completely of diabetes with fasting. So that's an amazing benefit. And also there's people who have been cured from cancer with water fasting. Another amazing benefit. So there's so many benefits to water fasting. And there are so many others. And I'm putting in another link in the description for Dr. Alan Goldhamer. He is the founder of fasting clinics in the United States, and he has helped so many people cure numerous diseases with water fasting, eczema, rosacea, like I said, diabetes and cancer and things like that. So check out his video. It's really cool. There's so much more, so many other videos, about him on YouTube. So definitely check him out. So yeah, those are, some of the benefits. Like I said, there's way more. So in Psalm 69, King David said, I am humbled my soul with fasting. Sorry, he says, I humbled my soul with fasting. So you may find yourself relying more on God during a fast for strength. And a bonus of fasting and praying at the same time is that you can hear God more clearly, because as we'll find out over the next few weeks, your brain fog starts to disappear. See you tomorrow.